People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. Alright, yeah. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. Strange days have found us. Strange days have tracked us down. They're going to destroy our casual joys. We shall go on playing our fight on your town.
What's up, Cyberspace Cadets? That's right, it's Sunday. You know what that means. It's time for some ice cream. The concept behind ice cream is simple. Ice cream is everybody's favorite treat. I don't know, not everybody. Maybe if you're lactose intolerant, I don't care. It symbolizes something that I enjoy immensely. And to me, that's talking to people that I find fascinating, people I want to know more about. And in this case, it's no different. I met this guy last year. First thing we meet, he asked me on the show, and we hung out for a good while talking about politics and stuff like that. It was awesome. And then we've been, kind of bumping into each other still down the road. And now he's the latest addition to the Creem stream, the core family, as we say. And without any further ado, I'm going to introduce the one and only Roasted Opinions. What's up? Hey, man, what you doing? All right, let's try it again.
I believe.
Say hi again. I screwed up,
everybody.
My bad. That was me.
Cool.
Hey, man, I got to boomer it up at least one point during the show, So, yeah, but like I was telling everybody, and I was thinking about this earlier. You kind of remind me of Bob Newhart. And your humor's kind of, and it's like, he was best friends with Don Rickles. And they literally, like, they would go on trips together and shit, and they were just, they were like yin and yang with each other. Rickles is, bristly personality, and Newhart's like, underselling, the deadpan comedy, And it's a perfect fit. It kind of reminded me of you and a certain lady out there who's got a really smart mouth, but she's awesome, and we love her.
She is the best, isn't she?
Yes, we do. We enjoy this lady because she's funny as shit. So, but we're getting into that in a little bit. Let's move into the dog and cat room, as I call it. This is we're just hanging out with the Mandelbrot behind us. And I did confess to Roasted the other night that I did not create any of these Mandelbrots. I found them on the interwebs. They're on YouTube, and they're available for free. And without any further ado, this is where I start asking questions. I'm going to ask this man some questions, and he's going to answer them, okay? Y'all down with that shit? I know I am.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, give me a little, see if I can turn you up just a little bit more. I'm going to make you louder. Hey, give me a check. Hey, man.
Mic check.
Oh, beautiful. All right, you're right on it. I got you right at the right level. All right, everybody good? All right, we're ready to go. All right, so what I try to do is I try to start with the YouTube and then kind of, at the end, come back to YouTube. And so the first question I always ask is, how long have you been around the YouTube sphere, and what made you want to come to YouTube, and why do you have a channel on YouTube currently?
I've been around the YouTube sphere for a little bit longer than I've actually had an active channel. I've been bumping around for about 5-6 years, but when I first got involved in YouTube, I was still in the National Guard, and you have to kind of be careful what you're doing when you're in uniform, because anything that you say, once they figure out that you're in uniform, you're saying that on behalf of your branch of service. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble real quick.
I bet.
So I was watching, I was learning, trying to pick it up, and getting ready to go live when I retired last year in May. The next weekend I had a video out.
Killer. That's right.
I spent 22 and a half years not being able to speak my mind because, somebody's got to go out there and protect everybody else's free speech.
Yeah, exactly.
And once I had my free speech back, hell, I'm using it.
That's right. I think that experience is, kind of, what word am I looking for? It influences, your current opinion today. I'm sure it does,
Oh, yeah.
Sitting on the front lines, protecting this country is It's a huge job, and you learn about the way that the actual government works and shit like that from the inside. Man, it's not as pretty as they want you to think it is, right?
Yeah, but you also learn a lot about the way the world works too.
Well, so
And,
all right, what about the
boy.
name? Where did the name Roasted Opinions come from? And how much of what we see on Roasted Opinions is you, the real you?
What you see on Roasted Opinions is the real me, pretty much straightforward. The name of the channel came from the handle that I was using on Twitter, which was Roast Anatomy, which came from my mother. My mom would not cuss, period. So instead of saying ass, she said anatomy. And if you had a case of the ass, you had a roast anatomy. And that's where the nickname came from. And then when the channel came together and I started making videos, I named the channel from that, and my opinions became roasted. Every so once in a while, my biggest critic will remind me that I have to explain why my opinions are roasted sometimes, and when that's happening, I need to step up my game a little bit.
Well, who would criticize you?
Actually, that would be my brother.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Is he in the is he out there in the chat right now?
I don't know if he's in the chat. He
Well.
is out there. He is my biggest critic, and he's also one of the two people that helped me the very most on my channel, because he will tell me everything that he caught. He catches every little detail. He will tell me where I have missed a transition during an edit, and he can hear the change in the tone of my voice on the audio. He catches everything.
Wow.
But at the same time, he starts off with, these are the things you need to improve, work on for next time, keep an eye out for, and it's usually the tiny things. And then he tells me everything that he loved about it.
Cool.
And it gets a little rough sometimes when I have a bad video come out, when my edits are bad and my stutter is coming through a little bit. That kind of sucks, but it's a learning experience, and making mistakes is how you get better, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Of course, my other biggest fan and contributor is in the chat right now, letting everybody know that my brother's just a little bit OCD.
Yeah. Let's say hi to everybody. Colleen, of course. She is the one that we are referring to. We'll get to them in a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Just y'all be patient. You damn bunch of I don't know, drama hole people. Just you gotta suck that drama up, man. It's a love story. God. I'm kidding. I jest with love. Sir Adamantine, greetings, sir. It's good to have you in the audience today. Skeptalk, of course. Dude, how you doing? Let's see, who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. I know I'm missing somebody. Great. Yeah, Straight Sid Merrill. Hey, man, how you doing? So we're going to float on and take care of some more questions with Mr. Roasted. Is it okay if I call you Roasted, man?
Yeah.
Because that's probably what I'm going to end up calling you anyway. So.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, on the Creem Stream stuff. So. All right.
There's only two things I don't respond to, and that's son of a bitch and bastard. My parents were married, and my mom was a gem. Other than that, I'll answer anything. You can call me Dave if you want.
All right, Dave. I'm kidding. Dave's not here.
My name, by the way.
Dave's not here. Okay. Bad Cheech and Chong joke. Out of the way now. So, all right. Is there a food from your childhood that you hated, but now you like it?
No.
Okay.
There's not a food from my childhood that I hated and now I like. There is a food from my childhood that I hate and I still hate, though.
Okay. Well, what would that be?
Pea salad. I cannot eat it. And as soon as it touches my lips, I start gagging.
Ooh. That sounds, hey, Gaming. I saw you get your little ass in here, man. I saw that. You sneaky butt. Mm-hmm. So what does that pea salad look like? It sounds gross as shit. It does.
It's kind of a northern thing. Addie would know about it. You take peas. If you're making it right, you take frozen peas or fresh peas, and you cook them just enough to be tender. Right. And then they go into a bowl with some good cheese and a little bit of salad dressing, like Miracle Whip or something like that, and you stir it up, and this is a great delicacy up there. The way it's normally made is with canned peas, an entire jar of mayonnaise, and
Keep going.
and just about everybody where I grew up eats that crap. And to me, it looks like a frog exploded. It's just horrible.
That's funny as shit. And it's what kind of cheese did you say?
Well, if it's really good, it's made with like chunks of sharp cheddar cheese.
Oh, yeah,
little,
okay.
Bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
But usually it's made with diced Velveeta.
Oh boy. Yeah, my arteries are like starting to creak right just listening to this.
If you were inventing some sort of a mixed salad to take to a picnic and you were on food stamps and all you had was canned peas and government cheese and a jar of mayonnaise, this is what you come up with. And it's just foul. Just about anything else on the face of the planet I can eat, but it's just foul.
I heard that. What was your favorite CREEMER, man?
My favorite which?
What do they call them now? MREs? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I was in World War II mode.
My favorite MRE would probably have to be the ham slice, which they took out a long time ago. This is a chunk of ham, about the size of a half a can of Spam.
Is it for diversity reasons? Am I reading through that correctly?
No, I loved it because
I mean, did they take it away because of that?
No, they took it away because everybody got tired of eating ham slice.
Okay.
The only flavor that's original to the MREs from their original issue that is still in manufacture is spaghetti. They have never taken the spaghetti out, but everything else has been rotated out. The omelet with ham has disappeared, which is good because nothing says yummy like a water-packed yellow eraser with chunks of Spam in
it. Nice. That just sounds gross as fuck, dude. That's awesome.
It tastes better than it sounds, but the best way to eat it is cold. Tear it open, pinch lightly so your omelet doesn't fall out, turn it upside down, pour out the juice, and then eat it like a snack bar. If you eat it that way, then the flavor is not as developed by the heat and you can get it down.
Keep it that way. Dude.
like my drill sergeant used to say, it all builds a turd.
Exactly. It's all turd material. You're absolutely right on that. So, all right, who was the most influential person from your childhood?
It's a tie between my mom and my grandfather.
Okay. Talk about them. What kind of kid were you,
I was a good kid. I was a weird kid, but I was a good kid. You know that one kid that he's not really dangerous. He just is not really socially adept. He's really smart and sits in the corner and everybody asks them to help them with their homework. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's young roast. That's what I did in junior high school especially, but in elementary school as well. I was a bit of a squirrel, but not the kind of kid that would get in trouble. And I was a little on the sensitive side. I cry at a drop of a hat. So, there was a little bit of emotional distance between me and anybody else. But I was a good kid. I never got in trouble. I mean, like the worst trouble I ever gotten into in my life before I became an adult was I once stayed out till like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning without calling and letting my mom know I was going to be late. But now mom was 4'10". Imagine this, 4'10", raising 2 boys by herself. She worked full time and went to night school and got her college degree while raising these boys by herself.
Amazing.
Just about anything that she attempted, she could do. And I'm staring at 2 colored pencil drawings that she did that are museum quality. They're just beautiful.
Killer.
She was a very talented everything and managed to get my brother and I raised up into adulthood without burning the house down. She was great. Now Grandpa was her dad, and to this day he's still the hardest working individual I've ever seen in my life. He was the kind of guy that got bored if he only had 3 jobs.
Right.
and still made time for family. Still made time to be the uh, leader of the Boy Scout troop all the way through his boys growing up. Spent time with his grandkids, taught me how to keep bees. Um, Kept an eye on me during the summer, despite the fact that he was working. He'd just take me along with, and I got to learn all sorts of things about it, about what he did. He was superintendent for a research farm for a university. So he took care of all the nuts and bolts and let all the gee-whiz PhDs buzz around and figure out what diseases attacked brassica,
Oh wow.
whatever that means.
Yeah.
He was an expert on identifying alfalfa varieties by sight. He could identify like 1,300 varieties of alfalfa by
Holy
sight.
shit.
He's 8th grade education. The guy could solve algebra problems in his head. He couldn't do it on paper, but he could solve them in his head. Just
How
that
old
kind
is
of
he?
guy.
What's his age
Like,
now?
He passed away. He passed away when in '97.
Okay.
I believe. I was in the Army at the time, and I was the only person who couldn't make it back for his funeral out of the entire family, which bummed me out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I did get back and I paid my respects to him, they made a point of telling me that, as far as he was concerned, I was excused because I was serving our country.
Absolutely.
And he left word with my uncle to make sure that I knew that he was proud of me. So, made me stand a little bit taller and want to be just as cool as he talked me up to be.
That's very impressive. That's almost emotionally kind of overwhelming, to have that kind of the loving and respect, for children, and grandchildren. That's awesome. That's not, we don't hear stuff like that a lot anymore. The face of families has changed, I think, in a I don't know, I think it's a more negative way, to be honest. But, we do what we have, we do what we can with what we have, I guess. It just seems like the material we're working with now is a little bit cheaper. So, all right, Christmas time, what's that look like for your family? And do you have a favorite movie or Christmas carol that kind of, is one of those things you just do every year, no matter what else?
Christmas time is an interesting time. First of all, the tree never goes up before the 13th of December, period, end of discussion. That was Mom's birthday, and that was her rule. And she's been gone for years, and I still follow that rule religiously. Tree does not go up until December 14th. It can go up on the 14th. It has to come down by the 28th, because somebody's birthday's on the 13th, somebody's birthday's on the 29th. You don't celebrate Christmas during somebody's birthday. That was Mom's rule.
Right. Okay.
But half the time the kids are here for Christmas, half the time they're with their mother. So half the time, I gather together my kids and as much of my family as I can get down with me and go nuts cooking. And I mean go nuts cooking. There might be a turkey, a ham, a brisket, and those are just the meats. And then 15 or 20 side dishes, and 3 or 4 or 5 pies, and a cake, and a pan of brownies, and appetizer trays, and about 5 dozen deviled eggs. This is for like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
If you leave my house hungry on Christmas, it's your fault.
I like that, man. It sounds like that being a good host is real important to you, being hospitable to people.
Oh, absolutely. I don't have that many visitors. Still to this day, there's not that many people that I really want to invite into my life. If I did, I wouldn't be using an avatar and a nickname, and everybody would know what I look like in real life. But everybody know what my real name is. But I like to keep things a little bit private, even though I'm in this very public venue. I want to keep things private for as long as I can.
So how much does your avatar resemble what you actually look like?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay. Well,
it's one of those things where you just don't know.
Okay.
I just want to keep that a mystery. I did have myself in mind when I made my avatar, but
so you don't have sexy green eyes?
You'd have to ask Colleen what it's called.
Dude, he is not falling for this shit, y'all. I gotta step my game up. Damn. All right, so if you could go back and talk to yourself at the age of 8, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell little Rustin?
I'd tell him that the surgeries were going to work out just fine. When I was 3, I was involved in a really weird electrical accident. I'm not going to explain how all it happened, but what end results was that I had a hole the size of a quarter burned in the corner of my mouth.
Wow.
And then I had an absolute genius of a doctor who put my face back together. And now if you meet me in real life, most people that do notice it think I've just got a cold sore.
That's
I can
great.
still talk. I mean, my beard even grows on that side.
Oh, great.
It's great.
That's awesome, man. So it's really good to fall when you're in the hands of a good physician. You know, it can be an excellent thing. So that sounds great, man. What were you like in elementary and middle school? What were those years like for you?
Well, like I said, I was a bit shy. Part of it was because back then I hadn't gone through all of the reconstructive surgeries, and I still had a fairly large scar on one side of my face. And, there was some natural distance that happens between kids when you got that kid that's got this really weird scar on one side of his face. But I was really smart and a bit on the shy side and a bit of a squirrel. I was the younger of 2 brothers, so I got to follow in my brother's footsteps everywhere that I went, and they all said, "Oh, you're so and so's little brother, aren't you?" Yeah, but I'm not so and so. I'm just this little. I'm my own person, and so I was kind of. I kind of internalized a lot of things and carried it around for a long time, and still deal with it to a certain point to this day. But it's not as bad. I'm really coming out of my shell. I mean, I'm not even embarrassed anymore about having that little bit of a slight stutter when I talk. I'm recording my voice, and I've got a little bit of a stutter.
I can't tell. You know what I'm saying? It's
those breaks and hops are actually stutters. It's not a hesitation in my brain. It's just a hesitation in my thoughts or in the way I talk.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think we all do that to some degree. We have these little ways that our brains kind of pause so it can find what it wants to do or say. I go a lot. It drives me, and it drives me nuts when I listen to it back. So I can tell. Yeah.
You should hear me sometimes cussing the wallpaper down when I'm working on an edit. And I keep on coming across. I'll come across times when I'm editing the audio for my latest content, and I have said the same sentence 18 times, and I'm still having to take a piece from here and a piece from here and a piece from here and put them together to have one coherent sentence because I keep on stuttering in the middle of it. Just and then off I go because I get nervous about it.
Right. And you can't clip that out?
Yeah, I do, but because of the way I don't quite sound like Ben Stein, I don't quite have that kind of a monotonous tone, so you can usually tell if you listen real carefully. the change in the tone of my voice. It'll jump in just slightly in tone and volume, and that's where uh, that first set of ears comes in and lets me know every time that I haven't quite smoothed out that edit.
Gotcha.
And I want to be clear. I really value that he does that.
Well, yeah, but it sounds like you really, have a lot of pride in your craft, in your content, and and you want it to look and sound as best as it can possibly look and sound.
Oh yeah.
And if there's no room for improvement, that then you're fucking perfect. And I don't know about you, but perfect. I'm far from that, right?
Perfect's what you always strive for, but never achieve. But the striving for it is what makes it worth going.
Yeah, exactly. It's like shooting an arrow. You aim above the target, right? So you hit it. Cool. So what was the craziest thing you did as a kid?
I broke my neck.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Well, keeping in mind that there was a long time that I was not allowed to play any kind of organized grab ass, no athletics, because they were worried that I would bust open the work from my latest surgery.
Got you.
When I finally got past the last surgery, I was 14 years old, and I was cleared to go ahead and participate in sports all I wanted. So, I was late coming to the game, but I was coming into the game, and I tried to wrestle when I was a junior in high school. And in my third match, the guy I wrestled against was just amazing. And, he was throwing me around like a rag doll, and in the process, I came down on my head. And I didn't even know about it till the next day when we got the x-rays. I just thought I had a stiff neck.
Was it like a crack in your vertebra?
That process that sticks off the back, that spine that sticks off the back of it.
Yeah.
It had cracked almost completely through. If it had gone like an eighth of an inch further, it would have gone completely off, and the sliver would have gone in between C6 and C7 into my spinal cord, and I probably would have been killed.
Damn.
My whole life is a series of accidents that I shouldn't have survived.
Yeah. Well, and that tells me a lot about you. You know what I'm saying? That you've got a lot of perseverance, and maybe, somebody up there likes you.
Yeah, I'm sure that somebody up there likes me. Also, pretty sure that a couple of people that I want to live up to show up every so once in a while and keep an eye on me. I like to think that Mom and Grandpa are still looking out for me. I like to think that my dad, God rest his soul, was also keeping an eye out there and helps me think through things a little bit. But I'm a bit of a spiritual person like that.
Good. So when did your mom pass, man?
Mom passed in 2001, just a few months after the 9/11 attacks. So after I knew I was going to be going somewhere, but before I found out where. She found out she had cancer about the same time that a couple of idiots decided to fly planes into buildings. And thankfully, the Army didn't say that they needed me until she was gone. The last 2 weeks that she was around, I just lived at the hospital. I was up there 12 hours a day, and then I would go home and catch a little sleep and try to take care of my kids a little bit, and somebody else would come and fill in, and they'd hand off the kids, and I'd take care of the kids while they were up there sitting with Mom. And when she finally did pass, I was the only one in the room with her. She had been struggling for a while. You know how when somebody gets close to passing, they'll go through a period where they're kind of breathing like a landed fish. I think is the description. It's kind of a slow, steady gasp where their mouths are actually moving quite a bit. And she was starting to do that, and I knew she was in pain. She was at the point where we had to keep her in a medically induced coma because if she woke up, she would have been screaming.
It's horrible.
So I came over and I held her hand, and we had been taking turns reading her favorite Bible verse to her. And I said, Mom, we know you're hurting, and it's okay. You can go home now if you want to. We'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And half an hour later, she was gone.
Mm.
I don't know if she could hear me or not. It doesn't matter. I know that I held her hand and told her it was okay to let go. And after that, it didn't take long, and she was gone.
So, do you mind if I ask what kind of cancer she had?
She had what they used to call hypernephroma. It's got a different name now. I think it's small squamous cell renal cancer.
Renal cancer.
It's the kind of cancer that when it starts, go ahead and hit the stopwatch. You're very lucky if you make it 6 months, at least at the time.
Mm. And yeah, not much changes, with those vital organ, forms of cancer they're just voracious.
Yeah, you got one chance on something like that to take out the kidney and hope that the tumor is still encapsulated within the kidney.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, then you stand a decent fighting chance.
Right.
But they didn't quite catch it in time, and when she went for her follow up and they did the chest X-ray, there were so many little tumors popped up inside her lungs that looked like somebody shot a shotgun.
Jesus.
And she looked at my brother, and my brother looked at her, and she said, "Well, how long?" She was very, very mellow about it. She's very nonchalant about it. She knew what the X-ray meant before the doctor explained it to her.
Mm-hmm.
So she just asked the question that everyone wanted to know, and then she accepted it, and we sat down, and she told me what she wanted for her funeral, and we did it. And then my brother and I showed our respects to her in a way that only she would understand.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to burying her. She didn't have, her outfit wasn't planned out with a set of shoes. And my mom's nickname was Little Gray Duck. She had a set of ducky slippers that she wore around. And the day of the viewing, the visitation, I snuck her ducky slippers over there with my brother's knowledge. I snuck her ducky slippers over there and asked the nice lady at the funeral home if she could put the ducky slippers on Mom, because
Mm-hmm.
Mama needed to have her ducky slippers. And, Mom had this very nice dress on, and they did a very good job on her. She looked like she was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
She looked comfortable for the first time in months, and she's just resting. And nobody but my brother and I knew for several years that Mom was wearing her ducky slippers. And then just to remind us of that one last little prank that we played on Mom, which she would have laughed her butt off.
Mm-hmm.
When we got her headstone, I had them carve a mother duck on there with two ducklings, and one duckling is following along just fine, and one duckling is tucked up underneath her wing, and she's reaching back to take care of that duckling. And those ducks are my mom and my brother and I.
That's awesome. It's very reflecting. It causes pause for reflection. And Scott Tuck had asked earlier about your mom's artistic talent.
Yeah, she was genius.
He asked if she was A, professional, and B, did she take classes for that?
She did not take any classes other than some rough classes at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she did sell some work, but mostly she did her drawings as gifts for people. And insanely talented. She would take a picture, a photograph of whatever animal she wanted to draw. In my case, she knew I loved peregrine falcons, so she got a picture of a peregrine falcon, and by eye, she looked at the picture, saw the way the lines fell in the feathers, and reproduced that with her pencils.
Wow.
And you can see the individual strands in each feather. That's how meticulous she was with it. It's very beautiful, very, very beautiful drawing.
It
But
sounds
no
cool.
formal training.
That's awesome. That's just raw talent like that is outstanding. So, all right. So moving on to high school. Okay. You know, it's like to kind of shift the momentum a little bit. What was that like for you?
Well, again, interesting. Imagine I had a beetle mop. My hair was grown out into a beetle mop. It's the longest my hair has ever been. It hung into my eyes, and you know, mind you, this is in the 80s.
Right.
This is you know, like 20 years after the beetle mop was cool.
Well, he
I'm
was
wearing a
like
mop.
Johnny Ramone though. That was
Yeah.
That was the haircut he sported. Yeah.
Yeah, and extremely smart. You know, I could, if I had actually turned in my homework, I could have graduated at the top of my class. I didn't turn in my homework and graduated 18th.
I totally get it, man. Yeah.
I handed back my history books, still wrapped in the original plastic. And the history teacher was absolutely cool with it. The way he taught his class, he gave the final on the first day of class as a pretest.
Oh, dude.
And if you scored well on that final, you had the option of taking that grade, and so long as you didn't disrupt his class, you didn't have to do a damn thing the rest of the semester. Just you could use it as another study hall if you wanted to. Well, history's my thing. He hands me the test. I hand it back 15 minutes later, and I got like every question but one right on a 100-question test in 15 minutes. And he's like, well, yeah, you're not going to learn anything, so you don't even need to open the book. I'm like, you don't mind if I follow along anyway? He said, yeah, so long as you don't disrupt the class. And I went ahead and did the homework. I didn't have to. I already had my A. I went and did the homework anyway just because I like history.
Sweet.
And the other classmates would come up to me, literally came up to me, and started in history, but it turned into all my classes. It would come up to me after the teacher was done lecturing, when we had free work time to work on our schoolwork. They'd come up to me and ask me questions if they couldn't get to the teacher. That was high school. That and the fact that I was Captain Oblivious when it came to girls. I was very interested in girls. Very, very interested in girls. Very keen on them, and I couldn't pick up on the fact that there were girls that were interested in me. Because, you know, I changed schools in between elementary school and high school. So, you know, completely different school district. The people that I went to school with in high school didn't know what I looked like before all the surgeries. But I did. And that actually followed me well into my adulthood, where I would look in the mirror and I would still see, in my mind's eye, I would see the way that I looked before the surgeries. So it literally didn't occur to me that anyone of the opposite sex would ever be interested in me. And when I kept looking and I couldn't find, and when I stopped looking and just was going on, then my brain could pick up on the fact that other people were showing interest in me when I wasn't chasing them. And I'd like to think that I've outgrown that, but as Colleen says in the chat, I'm still Captain Oblivious sometimes.
So, all right. Well, what about so did you graduate? I guess you didn't graduate early, probably on time, right?
I graduated on time because our school didn't allow people to skip grades in high school.
Right. Because it was like back then. I know that's the way it was. Did you go to your? Is your 20-year reunion getting? If we
I'll
passed
never
that?
go back.
Yeah.
I'll never go back.
I heard that.
I'm past my 20-year reunion, and I won't go to a high school reunion ever.
Yeah, me either.
I'm I've never been the kind of guy that does really well looking back on social situations, especially when I was uncomfortable. I want to move forward. I want to move forward to positive things, and negative things. I can remember the negative things. I just don't want to. I don't want to go back and re-experience them. I don't want to walk into that room and run into that guy that still thinks that he is Captain Stud, leader of the sports ball team, or Joe Cool, the resident criminal. They never left high school. They still think of themselves as that guy in high school. I don't want to run into that guy
Yeah.
because number one, because all those years in the Army and all those deployments in the Army, I don't have the patience that I used to, and my temper comes out a lot faster. And number two, I weigh about 45 pounds more than I did when I graduated high school, but I'm not out of shape by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still fit. It's just not a situation that I want to get involved in.
So did you ever experiment with like alcohol or smoking weed or anything like that when you were a teenager?
I knew what alcohol tasted like, but I never got drunk before I was of age to drink, and I never messed around with anything that was patently illegal.
Gotcha.
That's just not my thing. I got my drug of choice is caffeine. As Colleen can testify, I drink about 3 gallons of coffee a day. No, seriously, I drink about 3 gallons of strong Army coffee a day.
That's right.
Usually chase that with energy drinks and sodas. So,
fuel for the government issue, man.
Oh yeah, that coffee that's strong enough to dissolve the rust off of a horseshoe.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can either drink it or you
dissolve
can use
a horseshoe.
clean grease off your engine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that kind of coffee.
That's right, man. So, what about music, man? What was the first concert you ever went to?
First concert that I ever went to in my life, I think I was 19, and it was a Christian rock band.
Oh.
No, actually, I went to a couple of Christian rock bands when I was a teenager. I only went to Christian rock bands when I was growing up, but I was a metalhead. I didn't look like a metalhead, but I was a metalhead.
Gotcha.
I lived for metal. By the way, if any of you guys can hear little piping voices in the background, my kids are around, and I've cautioned them to be quiet, but they don't always listen to me at all because I'm just dad.
That's right.
So,
well, I hope they're not listening to this because I've been cussing like a sailor. Man, I'm embarrassed.
No, you're not. They can't hear you.
Okay.
You might. The rest of the world might be able to hear them going, "Oh yeah, go, because they're watching YouTube videos elsewhere.
I got you.
I'm on headphones, so they can't hear what you're saying.
Well, cool.
Go ahead and cuss like a sailor. Nobody cares.
They're not bleeding up too bad, man. It's. I think it's a cool thing. It's the sound of life.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. What's your guilty pleasure music-wise?
My guilty pleasure?
Yeah, currently.
Once and always. Faith No More.
Oh,
Epic.
wow.
And it's my guilty pleasure because that is a song. There's a lot of songs that I cannot resist singing along with, but Faith No More, when I hear those opening bars for Epic, I have to sing along with the entire song. And I don't need the words. I can close my eyes and do it. But I can only do it with the music,
Right.
I can sing along with the boys. There's no way that you would get me to sing that by myself, not even for karaoke.
You want it all, but you can't have it.
It's in your face, but you can't grab it.
That's right, dude. That's a great song. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple of stories where I'd actually seen them at a local dive bar. You know, when they were just a goofy garage band, exactly, before they got the singer and before they had any record deal or anything like that. So yeah, and they were great guys, man. The drummer was really cool. He and I hung out, and we might have smoked some illegal substances. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll just say that.
If you can remember what you did that night, you must not have done that much.
Yeah. And my butthole did not hurt the next morning, so it was okay. All right. So all right. So you joined the military right after 9/11. What did that look like? What did your military service look like?
I actually joined active Army in '96.
Okay.
I served 4 years in the active Army, and that was when I was married for the first time. And about halfway through that service, she developed a boyfriend that wasn't me while I was stationed overseas. And, when I got back, there was no more marriage to save. I tried, but there was no marriage to save. So I made the conscious decision that being a father was more important than being a full-time soldier. So I left the active Army and joined the Guard. But I was still in the Guard when the towers fell. And, the best thing that I ever did in my life and the worst thing I ever did in my life, as far as conscious choices I made, was joining the Army. I don't regret a minute of it, and I regret all the things that it cost my family. I got 4 kids.
Right.
They had to share their dad the whole time they were growing up.
Mm.
And
how old's your oldest now?
25.
Right.
Yeah, my youngest is less than half that age. I've got them spread out quite wide. I'm going to be paying for college forever by the time I get done paying for mine. By the time I get done paying for mine, I'll be paying on theirs. I'm not going to retire.
Well, if you're fortunate, it'll get to a point where college won't be able to give them a lick of anything. You know what I'm saying? Practicality wise. So you might get. Yeah, go ahead.
One of them made the conscious decision that he's not going to college; he's going to trade school.
Smart guy. I'll lay that right there, right now, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mike Rowe's approach. We don't need as many college students. We certainly don't need as many people who have advanced degrees in gender identity theory or some other semi-useless thing like that. Because the only thing you can do with that degree is either stir up trouble as a pundit or teach that field to somebody else.
Right.
So, but you always need somebody who's a good carpenter. You need someone who's a good mason or an electrician or an auto body mechanic or somebody that can build your shit and fix your shit.
Absolutely.
You always need those guys.
Yeah, you're always going to need plumbers, man. As long as people shit, you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, 20 years plus in the military, the guy that I met that earned the most was a plumber. He was a master plumber. He was making around $175,000 a year just from plumbing, and he made enough money. He traded trucks and bought every 2 years. He'd trade trucks and bought a brand new truck and paid cash for it.
Damn, that's impressive. It's like I've got an uncle that was a master plumber the same way, man, and made a shitload of money. So
you can make a shitload of money if you're willing.
Yeah,
shit,
bust that ass. Yeah, and slog through the shit. Exactly. My wife's grandfather was one too. He worked for the city, so you can imagine. Yeah, he did some sewer diving. Yeah, no shit, man. Or it's all shit, man. I guess depending on how you look at it. Let's see. All right, so how many times have you been married? If you don't mind me asking.
I have been married twice, and I've been divorced twice.
And you've got how many kids?
4.
Right, and what? 2 of them are home.
I've got 3 of them that are still home. One of them that is at home is old enough to be out on their own, but has not yet left. Um, I've got a deal for my kids. When they are 18 and they have graduated high school, they will either start paying me rent or they will find a place of their own. And the flexibility on rent comes in if they decide that they're going to go to college. I will work with them on their rent because their primary job is going to college. But if they want to go out to work, they need to pay me rent on time. And if they don't pay me rent on time, then they need to find someplace else because they're adults and I'm going to treat them like it. Kind of grumpy when it comes to raising my kids. I'm kind of strict about them because, mom was strict with me. Hang on just a second. I'm going to have to mute out for a second.
That's fine. So get a second to say hey to everybody in the chat. Brett Favre, welcome aboard. Trippy Cast, hey man, what's happening? May hit you up for tonight. I hope everything's good. I go still for tonight. Sir Adamantine again. It's Colleen B. Colleen, the lovely Colleen Bernier.
The amazing Colleen Bernier.
Yes, indeed. And so you have returned, I guess. I'm assuming. Which what that gets me,
My youngest is playing Fortnite, and he keeps on forgetting that he's not supposed to talk. He gets overexcited and starts yelling at the TV.
You son of a bitch!
No, take that. No, don't shoot me. They can't hear him. He doesn't have a boom mic.
Yeah, it's like going to a horror film. It's like, don't go in there, you dumbass.
Don't go in the basement. He's hiding in the basement by the fuse box. That's why the lights are. Don't, you stupid. No, I told you not to do that. God. Why are they all. They had sex. Okay, she's dead. They were smoking doobies in a corner. Okay, he's dead. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're the people that aren't virtuous, the people that live.
Exactly. It's all about the 7 deadly sins, man. Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, it's always the virgin that beats the killer. It's always the virgin that never smokes weed that beats the killer.
Exactly.
And that's usually the female character that's the sole survivor.
Exactly. So all right. Let's see. All right. So these are kind of like fun questions. For now, we'll get more into who you are. What you're into. What's your favorite old school muscle car?
67 Mustang Shelby GT 500.
Jesus. Just, straight out your mouth, just like that, man. It sounds like you got a love relationship with that car.
If I ever own that car, I'm not sure that I will drive it. I may just keep it in the garage and rub it with a diaper. No, Dad, can I take the Mustang out for a spin? Get the fuck away from my car.
Don't even look at it.
Don't even think about my car.
Yeah.
It is not there. I get that Shelby. I will put 3 locks, 1 key, 1 combination, and 1 deadbolt that can only be opened electronically.
Oh, dude.
and wire it up with an alarm system. The only person that would be able to go in there besides me would be Colleen.
Sweet. That is a gorgeous car.
Then,
what color?
Oh, God. Don't laugh, but bright yellow.
Sweet.
Absolutely bright yellow, every last inch of it. Not the bumblebee yellow with a black stripe. Just plain glow in the dark yellow. Because I once read that the brighter the color is, the lower your insurance is.
Oh,
and the insurance on that thing's going to be freaking hilarious.
With the roof, red. Yeah.
With the exception of red, the brighter your color is, the more obnoxiously bright your color is, the lower your insurance will be because the visibility on your car is higher.
Oh, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Actuaries and shit. Oh, what a weird job that is. Let's see. All right. So, what about guilty pleasures? Food, movies. What are your guilty pleasures?
I'm a chocoholic.
Okay.
I love a good history biopic, of course. I can sit down and watch Ken Burns' Civil War back to back. But My guilty pleasure is that I love rom-coms, especially 80s and early 90s rom-coms like Forget Paris and The Princess Bride. I just watch them over and over again. It's stupid, but I love them.
Yeah, Princess Bride is a classic, man. I
Oh,
mean, there's just so many, quotes for that. I don't that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. It's funny as hell. I love that shit.
there was a time when I could quote that entire movie from start to finish,
Absolutely, man.
parts.
Yeah, Uzi can do it, man. We watch that movie like 4 times a year. So it's a thing with her.
Hmm.
So what's your favorite anime series, if you've got
But
one?
Macross.
Okay. So the
I know that's pretty
Robotech.
old school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Shit,
Robotech.
yeah, man. Yeah, I've got a
When
bunch of
that
those
came out,
models.
I got the books.
Mm.
I got the books, and then I got into a tabletop role playing game called BattleTech.
BattleTech, dude.
That
Yeah.
and I still got the books somewhere.
Did you do it? Did you
Yeah,
get into
that
Mech
was
Warrior, man, when they started?
after it passed out of Fast's hands. I kind of lost a lot of interest.
I know
Oh my god! But I've still got
the
the
Fast
Battle
game.
Space. I've got the Battle Space series. Battle Space and Battle Space 2. I've got those books so that I can do the space naval combat in the BattleTech universe.
Sweet. That's
And I would spend hours designing the mechs and the tanks and I had custom designs for literally everything. I had a custom design for a battle armor suit, custom design for a battleship. I had, I had assault mechs and medium mechs and scout mechs and heavy mechs and the whole 9 yards. I
dude.
just
You
went
know what? I'm
nuts.
gonna open a mech channel in this Discord, man. All right,
Oh,
and
oh,
we'll drop
oh,
some
God,
pics.
yeah.
Yeah, because I've got some shit I'm into too. I build models, right, and I've got a couple of those old Robotech, Thorin or the Thor, basically is what it is. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember those. I remember BattleTech before Palladium sued the shit out of FASA.
Oh, dude,
And
man, Mech Warrior 3 was so fucking good, and it was such a fun game, man.
hmm
It's like I'm not really a video game guy, or a computer game guy, but man, that one just took me away. I was on the team and shit.
hmm
We were doing that shit, man. It was fun. I had a ball. What about tattoos? Do you have any tattoos, man?
Yes, I do.
What you got? Or
Um, I,
do we tell you?
I've got on my shoulders. I've got a couple of unit crests. One of them's for the unit that I served with was when I was in active duty, when my first battle buddy got killed,
Hmm.
and the other one is the unit that I served with when I went to combat when my other battle buddies were killed. So they help me to remember where I've been, and they also help me to remember my friends that uh, gave everything. They soldiers, sailors, airmen, marines. They all write a blank check, up to and including my life, payable in full to the American people.
Right.
And some of them, sometimes the government cashes the check. Sometimes life cashes that check, and I've got a handful of buddies whose checks have been cashed. Those tattoos help me to remember them and honor their sacrifice.
Was that from Bosnia or
Um,
Somalia?
I went to Kosovo, and I
Oh,
went to then I went to Iraq. I
mm,
volunteered to go. Well, I was voluntold to go to Kosovo, but I volunteered to go to Iraq less than a year after I got back from Kosovo,
right.
because by that time, just about everybody that was in uniform had been to either Iraq or Afghanistan once, and I hadn't seen the elephant yet.
Mm.
I didn't feel like I had quite done my service. So I volunteered to go with a unit that had backfilled our unit when we went to Kosovo, and that was when I got the distinctly unfun experience of actually knowing that somebody was trying to kill me. I don't know that they were mad at me, but they sure tried to blow me up.
Can
And
you describe what kind of unit you were with, or
I was with armored cavalry unit.
okay? Well, you were
I was
Bradley.
I was in tanks at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to roll around in tanks while I was in Iraq. The unit. This was about the time when the National Guard was getting away from having tanks and going to a lighter cavalry.
Right. Strikers,
so
maybe.
Strikers and Humvees,
Mm-hmm.
and they were going to
MRAPs.
wheeled cavalry.
Right.
MRAPs. God, I hate that truck.
They're ugly as fuck too, man.
It's the size of a freaking billboard, and I spent 10 years as a tanker. So you look for the biggest object that's moving on the field, and that's
Exactly.
usually the most dangerous thing. So it's the first thing to get shot.
Right.
So yeah, an MRAP's really good against a roadside bomb or a landmine, but I don't look at vehicles. I don't look at combat vehicles from whether or not they can survive the side of the road going boom. I look at them from whether or not it's going to be really easy to shoot them from 2.5 miles away. So, and that's what tankers do. We kill people and blow stuff up from 2.5 miles away. And when I got tired of doing that, I came back from Iraq. They said, you can't be in tanks anymore. I said, well, I'll have to go find another job then, because I'm not going to be a Cav Scout.
Were you on a
anymore.
Paladin, man?
No, I was on an Abrams.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I was-
well, shit.
Yeah, I
The
got to roll
Cadillac,
around.
man. Yeah.
Oh, 70-ton Harley Davidson.
Yeah, man. With the suspension, I heard the suspension is really sweet on that motherfucker, man. And you
You can run over a curb and not even feel the bump. You can run over a curb at 40 miles an hour and not feel the bump.
oh, dude,
It is smooth as silk.
man.
And they are fast. Oh, God, they are.
All right, so the channel is going to be mechs and tanks, okay? Because I'm very queer for tanks.
Oh,
I'll tell you that
God,
right now. Yeah, I love track vehicles. It's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you're seeing how Rate go total fucking geek here, man.
Then I'm really gonna power up your charm there. When I left tanks, I went into artillery.
Ah,
And instead of concentrating on the big gun going boom and killing things direct fire like a sniper, I concentrated on doing things that help the big guns, even bigger guns, go boom from 20 miles away. And some dude that's thinks he's safe and being sneaky and nobody sees him, all of a sudden 6-inch howitzer shells fall directly on him. Yeah, I helped them figure out where the dude was. And more importantly, my job was to help find out where the enemy artillery was. And I gave that information to our guns so that our guns could shoot back as soon as they fired. They might get one salvo off at us, but they weren't going to get that second salvo off because our salvo would be falling before they fired again.
all right. So you weren't like using drones or anything to detect them. You were just using the old school method, right? Detection.
I was working with a firefinder radar.
Nice.
Which meant that I had to have enough of a security clearance that I can't go into the gory details of what I did, but my job was to look for the enemy guns and report their position so that the artillery could blow the shit out of them.
That's right. Sweet. Well, that used to be like a really dangerous job, you know. Well, it was,
Still
I'm
is.
sure it still was, you know, because
it still
you've
is.
got that equipment and shit with you. So you're like sitting there radio and trying to, you know, keep your ass alive and you know, and keep the equipment safe because, you know, you don't
The
want
radar works by putting out this really strong radio signal, right?
Mhm.
And because the United States likes to use every advantage it can, they figured out that they could put a receiver on the end of a missile, and the missile would follow that radar beam all the way down to the emitter and blow it up. It's called a harm missile. And because the enemy is usually only one step or two behind us technology-wise, they had their own harm missiles. Well, they shoot a harm missile at you, you got a choice. You can either keep radiating and keep doing your job, or you can shut the radar off and hope to God that you can get far enough away from it before that missile hits.
Yeah, that was the deal. You know, the wild weasels in Vietnam. The whole,
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down with that shit, man. I've like read all these books about the wild weasels. I've got a F-105 model kit that I haven't built yet, but yeah, I'm gonna trick it out for the Wild Weasel mission. So, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. It's just I could talk all day about it.
I could geek out about military forever, whether it's real military or role playing military. I could geek out about that stuff.
Well,
forever.
you know, people don't understand that we're still in the arms race, right? With like China, Russia, you know, and the assholes. You know, well, we say China's an asshole too, whatever. But yeah, you know, and right now there's a race for the hypersonic weapons and how to defeat hypersonic weapons, right? Which is a weapon that travels faster than Mach 5. It's crazy, man. And we're talking about. I was watching and thinking about Ghost Navy, where we'll be using like automatic AI drone ships to mimic like fleets and shit, and put missile platforms on them eventually. So, yeah, it's going to get weird.
You have to get a intercept device where the sensor system has a fast enough nutation rate that you can follow the hypersonic weapon and do a pathway predict off of that. If it picks up enough hits off of that weapon, then it can actually steer not towards the weapon, but towards where the weapon's going to be and make that intercept.
Right. And if that misses, we've also got directed energy weapons. You know, the Navy's working on railgun technology.
Yeah,
all that shit, man. That we were like, you know, when we were playing fucking BattleTech and stuff. You know, some of that shit we dreamed about is becoming real now. It's crazy. I love it. I'm down with that. Let's see questions. Piercings. What about piercings?
Are you nipples pierced?
No. I pierced the normal place on me. I pierced my ear, which I did myself with a needle that I poured a little rubbing alcohol over. Just
Colleen pierces nipples, man. I want to see that and video it. I want to see that shit.
No. My nipples don't need piercings. They're sensitive enough as it is.
All right, here's a question I like to ask people. If you could go back in time and spend a week with anybody, who would you do it? Who would you spend the week with and why?
Anybody in all of history?
Anybody of all of history.
Oh, God. Please don't laugh, but I couldn't pick one person. I do have a small group of people that I would like to go back and spend a week with.
Okay.
My family members that have passed away, my parents and my grandparents, I would like to have one more week with them. I would pick that over anybody, everybody.
You're fucking trying to make me cry, dude. Stop it.
I'm not trying to make anybody cry.
You're stirring my feet, man. No, I totally get that, you know. I totally get that.
I mean, it would be really cool to talk to Charlemagne if I had somebody who was willing to translate for me, because I don't speak the same.
Well, I mean,
French
given optimal, circumstances, you're going to communicate effectively with them, and and they're not in the middle of any kind of battle or anything like that. But yeah, okay. Let's see. What job would you suck at? Would you be horrible at?
The list is long and distinguished. I would certainly suck as a game show host, because, well, you know how every once in a while Alex Trebek sounds like, what the fuck were you thinking when you said that?
Yeah.
Is that based on him? Yeah, that would be every time somebody gave an obviously wrong answer. What? Name a sedimentary rock. Granite. What? Come on. Come on, man. Sediment, sand, sandstone. Are you freaking retarded? I wouldn't be good at that job. And, I still, because of my history, I'm still self-conscious about the way I look. I can look honestly at my face and my body and say, I look pretty dang good for somebody in his mid-40s. But at the same time, I'm still self-conscious about it. And when I get self-conscious, I get nervous, and then I start stuttering. And so, TV would not work for me. But creating videos when it's just my voice and I can edit out any momentary hesitations, I can do that. And maybe someday I'll get over my stage fright again. I used to actually do theater, and I was fine.
Oh, yeah.
I acted in musicals in high school and in college and did fine.
That's cool, man. So you can sing. Ah.
I used to could.
Yeah.
Before I smoked for about 30 years, I used to could. I still got a pretty good voice. Now, my kids, oh my goodness, my kids have the voices of angels. My daughter has a voice that is just, when she sings, she sends shivers down your spine. But she's like me. She won't do it in public because she's afraid that she would make a mistake. I never got over that bit of perfectionism. Well, more than a bit of perfectionism that I have, and neither she. And if we made that one mistake, slightly flat on one note, maybe nobody else in the entire world would hear it, but we would hear it, and it would mess me up enough that I would stammer and fall apart in the rest of the song. But get me in the shower, I'm singing along with
that's Colleen's
Tom
job.
Cochran.
Right, I'm just saying.
She's got that one well in hand.
Oh, that's I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, bra. All right, so so we're getting towards the end of the line here, question wise. I do have some dumb questions, like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes or no?
A hot dog's a sandwich if you put it in a bun.
Okay.
Otherwise, no.
All right. All right. Is chili a stew or a soup?
Yes.
That's my question.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Look at that. I like that. All right. So, what will finally break the internet?
When I turn on my camera.
That's what I said. That's my line, dude. Okay.
Maybe you and I can turn on our cameras at the same time and cause, like the stock exchange in China to short out.
Yeah, I look like I should have been in an honor killing. I don't know.
I've got a face for radio. It's great.
Feel you. Yeah. We got a lot of weird shit and similarities. That's interesting. Yeah. So if you had your genitals chopped off, what would you replace them with?
I wouldn't replace them.
Oh.
I accept life as is, and I'm not going to get carried away.
So what would your pronouns be?
My pronouns would still be masculine. I just wouldn't. I'll go through the surgery that was necessary to fix things up so that I could survive. But I would still be me. I'm not defined by my genitalia.
Exactly. There you go. That's it. See, he turns it into a great answer. I like it. This is one of the things I really like about roasted people, is that ability right there. So who would you say is a criminally undersubscribed YouTuber? On this corner of the YouTubeosphere thing.
Besides you, oh God, there's so many.
Yeah, I know.
You need to be in the thousands. Most Ricky Tick, and anybody that tuned in just to hear this interview because of me, if you're not subbed to IRATE, you need to be subbed to IRATE. There's a lot of them over here on this end of the sphere that's currently under sub, but if I have to name one off the top of my head, it'd be you. I think the Britisher needs some love if people aren't subbed to him. His the week that was every week, oh my God, I have so much fun listening to him very calmly and with proper received enunciation explain just how stupid everybody is.
He is pretty cool at that. You're right.
Tim Pool is not criminally undersubbed, but he's definitely worth watching. There is moving out of the our end of it, there is a channel called Drachenfels. It's naval historian, and he mostly deals with ship classes from surface years, World War I, World War II. So battleships and cruisers and things like that. Oh my God. Watch.
That's military geek shit right there. That sounds awesome. It does. So all right, so let's flip it. Who's way overhyped? Who's a YouTuber you do not get? You've tried
a YouTuber that I do not get. I don't watch YouTubers that I don't get.
Right.
To be honest with you, I've never been big into watching somebody so that I can do a response video. I don't mind if people start doing response videos on me. That'll be great for my channel. But I don't do response videos on somebody else's stupidity. Not amongst the YouTubers, because I know that, you know, there's kind of a camaraderie, and unless they want to have a discussion with me and they want to do it by exchanging response videos, you know, I'd be fine with that. But I'm not going to watch somebody that I patently disagree with. You know, there's some out there that will make my spine cringe right out of my body, but I don't watch them. I'll watch other people's responses videos and be like, yeah, they're pretty stupid, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. I want to watch people that are fun.
So, all right. So, yeah, talk about your content a little bit. Tell, you have this this cool take, in my opinion, about politics, and really, you know, now you're kind of getting into pop culture kind of shit too, and you know, so talk about that a little bit.
Well, politically and culturally, I'm seeing a pretty big gulf forming, and it keeps on getting broader, and people keep on getting more and more radical and reactionary. It's not the reactionaries that are moving so much as the radicals, but you know, there's more space opening up, and it's starting to open up the cracks in Western society, in Western civilization. I don't like that. You know, my degrees are in history. So what I want to do is get people together that don't agree with each other and decide to have a nice, polite conversation with each other, in which, you know, the matter is discussed and discussed thoroughly. No agreement is necessary. Just let's start talking to each other. And, you know, if we can show each other enough respect to start talking, then we might actually be able to find a compromise solution to some of these big issues that we're just arguing with each other about. So that's the premise, the purpose of my channel. But what I do is I take politics, and I actually did start off with culture, and then I drifted to politics. Now I'm starting to get back towards culture again, where I talk about, you know, I try to present both sides of the argument so that everybody's represented and everybody's viewpoint is represented, and then I give my opinion. And it is my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily right on this. I will sometimes say people that are flat out wrong, because, you know, every so once in a while you have to say, no, if you drive at 900 miles an hour in a Ford Studebaker, you're going to have a wreck.
Right.
But I want people talking to each other, and we don't have to agree. But if we can start talking to each other, you know, we can start to realize what I realized while I was in combat. 90% of the people out there are just folks. You don't have to agree with them. You're probably not going to agree with them, but they're still just folks. And you can have a polite conversation with them and not agree and still be friends. Go out for a beer afterwards.
Yeah, I did.
And that's what I want people doing.
I want to announce Streamlabs just alerted me that Stone Monkey donated $4.20. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. I appreciate everything you do. 10 days ago. So
Thanks, Stone Monkey.
Thanks, Slobs. And Stone Monkey, of course, man. Anyway, moving on. Before we spliticate, it's tradition that you share your channel, and we have a final word for the chat and for the people watching. Any questions, please put one question mark in front and maybe a couple at the end, and we'll do some Q&A. And if you are in the server and you want to pop in and ask some questions, you can do that too. I think Colleen's in the server. So if you want to pop in, just pop in the green room, and I'll drag you in, because you probably won't be able to see this. So go ahead.
That's so kind of you to bring my Colleen in.
Yeah.
So wonderful. The name of the channel is Roasted Opinions. The opinions are indeed roasted, contrary to popular belief. Every Saturday, I try to come up with something new so that we can discuss it and figure out what's going on and have a little chat. So, pop on in. Feel free to give me a like and a sub, and give me just a second. I'll put the link to my channel in the.
It should be there. It should be there along with your Twitter.
Oh, sweet! Yeah, I'm also on Minds. I don't do a whole lot on Minds other than to let people know I got another video, but I am on Minds, and if you holla at me on any of those platforms, I guarantee you I will respond back.
This dude is ridiculously undersubbed, people. If you're not subscribed to this dude, you should be ashamed of yourself and consider Harry Carey or seppuku, whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying, consider it in Minecraft. Consider it in Minecraft. Just you know.
No need to commit seppuku. Just go ahead and bite the bullet and sub to my channel.
That's
Trust
right.
me, it will be more painful.
Exactly. If sub exactly before you do that shit, you definitely sub to this channel. That's I got my cart before the horse on that one, didn't I?
Were you going to ask me about Colleen? And,
well, let's talk about Colleen. Sure, man.
Yeah, it's a fun story. We actually met on YouTube. I came over to I came into YouTube with knowing a couple of people. Peach Bailey and I talked a little bit. She was kind enough to do my very first live stream with me, which was absolutely awesome. And then through Peach, I met Viper, and through Viper, I met you, and following you and Viper, I met Addie, and I was in a live stream with Addie. I was in the chat during one of Addie's live streams, and Addie asked a question, and a research question. Well, hell, that was my whole program when I was in college, was doing research, and I had never met anybody who could look things up faster than I could without like a direct line server. But there was this woman that kept on beating me to the punch by 10 seconds, and I was impressed, so I started paying attention, and then she popped into a live stream and put at Addie said a couple things, and her responses were just absolutely dead on. just had whoever she was responding to nailed.
Dude.
And oh my god,
yeah, she can stick her hand down your throat and pull out your balls, man. I mean, she has that capability.
Well, she reached down my throat all right, but she pulled out my heart.
Oh,
I had to meet her, and one day I got enough liquid and courage in me that I actually asked her to continue a hangout with me after the after stream had ended, and she popped into a hangout, and I think I sang. I was in my cups. I think I sang to her, and holy crap, she is absolutely amazing. She's smarter than I am. She's very down to earth. She's not mean, but she's very straightforward, blunt, without being mean.
Did you just see what she put in? She said, I'd rather get his balls from the other side.
She can have them from the other side anytime she wants.
Oh, bro.
I know I'm screwing up that story, babe.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, Mad Libertarian is in our green room. If he has a question for you, we'll pull him in. If not, we'll throw him out immediately. Okay? All right. Whoops. Come on in. Hey, man. What's up, Mad Libertarian?
What's up, Mad?
Mad Dodge.
Yeah, I had to mute your stream. Hey, how you doing, Roasted?
I'm doing great, Mad Dodge. What can I do for you?
Yeah, no, my question's pretty simple. What's your favorite stand-up comedian and why?
Of all time? Robin Williams.
Yes, sir.
To do comedy, you have to have energy. The more energy you have, the more rapid-fire jokes go, the better comedian you are. You know, because people don't have a chance to recover from that last wheezing gasp that you just put them on before you send them into paroxysms again. Robin Williams had that down pat, and I didn't care about his politics or any of the rest of that stuff. We lost a great, lost Robin Williams.
I totally agree. I remember Robin Williams, was it on Broadway, I think? That special on HBO? It was brilliant.
I've got that one on DVD, and I watch it from time to time.
Yeah, after I found out he died, I no longer will watch What Dreams May Come. You might know that movie.
Yeah,
I won't watch it.
I can't. But I'll watch. The best part about Robin Williams is that he was such a good comedian, but he could also do dramatic acting at a level that would make most grown men weep.
Well, I think that's the point. I think that comedy is indicative. I think the comedy is almost music, right? It's about timing. It's almost like a jazz kind of thing, right? Whereas, all right, so to be able to do that and do it well and do it consistently, I think you have to be able to be in touch with all of your emotions, and the only way to do that is to be able to to conjure them up, right?
Yeah.
And so every great comedian, I think, has a great actor inside of him. I really do.
Great comedy is like great music. It's got rhythm, it's got tone, and it's got timing. If any of the three are off, it's not as good.
Exactly. I totally.
And I love me some good music. I will rock out to classic music. That's why there's classic music starting off each and every one of my episodes. Start off with Eine kleine Nachtmusik. But not necessarily my favorite piece of classic music. I have so many that I love. I like Night on Bald Mountain as well, by Mussorgsky.
Wow.
Oh, that is powerful music.
Yeah, I love pictures of that exhibition. The whole thing is just incredible. Nice stuff. So, Colleen has joined my server, and if she wants to come in, she should be able to see the studio. I made it where she can see the studio, just for right now.
Oh.
Yeah, no, thank you guys very much. I'll go ahead and leave and make room for her. Take it easy, guys.
Mad Dodge, thanks for coming, man, and thanks for the questions.
Yeah,
awesome. All right, we'll see you. We'll see you. I'll be hanging around. I'll talk to you. Colleen, unmute your microphone.
Hi, hun.
She's trying to figure it out. We'll just hang with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Dun, 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 dun. That's the classic. Yeah, the Mozart, of course. Wolfgang Amadeus.
It's a nice, happy, peppy song. It gets you awake. Get you started in the morning. I used to have that as my alarm, and then I realized that it wasn't quite enough to get me going. So my alarm is more obnoxious now.
Isn't that funny that you associate that with being awake and it's called night music, right? It kind of tells you about Mozart's personality, I think. Partying was kind of one of his favorite things. There's Colleen. Still with us. Hello, darling.
Hi,
I'm going to turn you down just a wee bit. All right? You sound good. You sound good now.
She always sounds
better?
good to me.
So, all right, so you're going to come in and be completely quiet now.
No.
Okay. Well, where's some of that smart ass? She's giggling. You know what? If Colleen's at a loss for words, we've done something here. I'm just saying.
Hell no, I'm not at a loss for words.
There she is.
I've never heard Colleen be at a loss for words. It's like trying to get me to shut up once I'm rolling. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I have no problem getting you to shut up.
We're not going to explain how.
Man.
I'm a woman of many talents. What can I say?
Yes, you are. But spare my blushes. That glow that you see on your horizon is me blushing, guys.
I bet you're fucking purple. Yeah, you guys are like, you're in that phase where everybody like gets like a little bit of diabetes, just listening to you guys talk to each other, Oh
yeah, Addie called us pukishly sweet.
Yeah, I saw that note there, and I think he's hit the nail on the head, and that's a good thing. And if you guys can come back in 26 years and say you feel the same way or even deeper, then I think that you've got something that what I wish for everybody to have is like a relationship like what I have with my woman. So I'm happy that you guys found each other because y'all are also two awesome people, and it's nifty to see something like this happen. And so
the chat. Tater, do you need an explanation? I don't know. Would you like an explanation? Give you an explanation. You can ask Roasted what I told him about phone calls during certain times.
Let's just say that they will not be received, and if I make the mistake of answering them, you will be talking to me.
Yeah, that's the PG polite version of saying it.
She'll snatch the phone out of my hand and explain what's going on.
Dude.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So, any other questions from the chat? I do need to wrap this up. I apologize for that because of I've got to call my sister and stuff, family shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
But this has been. I told you to go by fast,
Oh.
And it's like it's over an hour and a half now. It's like shit. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
What if
feels like we just started?
Is there anything that you need to say, you want to say, you would like to say before we split? We got a little bit of time. I can, if you need 10 minutes, I'll give you 10 minutes.
I don't need 10 minutes because, I know you got to get rolling. You've got important things going on. But ever since you popped onto my channel and did a stream, I've been looking forward to this invite. Mm-hmm. I've really been looking forward to this invite because I admire the work that you do. I really love your interview style and how you really put your guests completely at ease. It's just folks talking. We could be having this discussion over a beer.
Yeah. And well, thanks, man. Well, that's kind of the idea, right? It's just hanging out and shooting the shit. And I like to learn about people. I love it. I love people.
Yeah.
And I love you and Colleen.
I'm not giggling at you two. I'm reading Tater's responses in the chat. No, I won't show him where to put the phone. I will just be showing him what won't be put somewhere.
I'll translate that for you. No butt stuff.
He already said no butt stuff for him.
Yeah, I feel you.
Just to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, Tater Raider is that older brother I was talking about.
Oh.
He is my first fan.
Hey, man.
Literally my first fan.
It's a pleasure, Tater Raider. Welcome aboard. If you want to sub,
I got much love and much respect for Tater.
That's right.
He is one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Excuse me, I had a mouthful of drink there.
Nah, you're good.
But Colleen, what about you? You got anything you want to say about this dude here? What's the game plan now? You guys are going to meet each other or get a hotel room or something? Or
we've already met in real life. Yes.
Okay, and so
nah,
what's the next step?
Visitor.
You gotta tell this crazy bugger here, I'm trying to be clean, this crazy bugger and his oldest son decide they're going to drive 1,300 plus miles one way.
Killer.
Yes, this man drove 1,300 plus miles one way and then drove back in a matter of days to come meet me in person.
I stayed with you 2 days, and it was the best 2 days that I'd had in many, many years. And some people are just worth coming to see.
That's right.
You're one of them.
This really
He
makes
came
me
out
feel
to where I
good.
live 'cause
It really does.
Yeah.
To hear you guys talking like this. So, but the short of the deal is that you guys will be like cohabitating at some point, I hope.
If everything goes according to plan, sooner rather than later.
I'm pushing this.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see it.
Tater, he can't have kids.
I'm not touching that
we
shit.
can practice.
Yeah,
we can
no.
practice.
That's right.
We can practice. We can pretend. You ain't getting any more nieces or nephews from me.
Yeah, so this is the point where he won't shut up about the damn codes you guys have out there.
Oh.
Whoa.
In Massachusetts,
Yeah,
where she lives somewhere in the state of Massachusetts,
No, you can say it. Everybody knows. I live in Fall River, Mass. I live on the East Coast.
they have granite curbs.
Damn.
It's like the granite slabs.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, like headstone slabs. All the curbs are headstone slabs, and it impressed me so much that I actually took pictures of the curb.
You know, if it wasn't full of like morons and political idiots, I might move up there to New England, you know?
Oh, that
No.
reminds me. A criminally
No,
underserved
no.
channel. I just thought of one.
Oh, yeah, Carl.
The Fall River, Massachusetts official channel that they put
No.
their city council meetings on. You must
Thanks, Mike.
watch. You must subscribe.
Yes. There you
Oh,
go.
he
It
says that
is-
because of the last city council meeting we had that involved a city councilor saying, the mayor's used to being in handcuffs, but it doesn't mean we want to do it here.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that was the one that wanted to keep the them kind of people out. Did you see
No.
that? That was funny.
But no,
Oh my God.
our city mayor is like under indictment, like 13 federal charges and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then
fraud.
there's that.
Fraud and tax
Fraud.
evasion, and
He just got caught.
probably one of the
man.
only places.
He's the
The only
he's the kind of
places
guy
that-
that will. Go ahead.
Shush,
babe.
shush, shush. I'm gonna have an Eddie moment. Start saying, "Shut up, shut up."
That's great.
We're one of the only cities that like managed to recall and re-elect the same mayor in the same election.
That's hilarious.
On the same ballot.
That's funny
same
as
ballot.
shit. That is crazy.
On the same ballot.
That's
yes.
America.
So,
And this is the mayor that
Screw up.
decided that it'd be a really good idea to take a dock that was condemned for use because of the PCB pollution on it and open up a beer garden on the dock.
no, not him. Open up a beer garden. He got the license for his girlfriend's father's business to open the beer garden, the beer venue on the dock.
Yeah, you can't eat the
Then-
fish that are coming out of the water, but yeah, they want to put a freaking bar on top of the dock. I don't understand it. I have a really great time at this bar, but the customers keep on falling off. I don't know why. So many of them seem to be dying of cancer. Yeah, I mean, it's just they had 22 windows just appear in their city hall. No purchase order, no documentation, no paper trail whatsoever. 22 Williams, a multi-million-dollar contract. 22 windows get changed out, and nobody seems to know where they came from. And of course, the city doesn't have paperwork, so they don't want to pay for them. But they announced they don't want to pay for them after the windows are installed.
Man.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't have a purchase order. We're not going to pay for them. The guy who actually did the install isn't the guy who supposedly supplied the windows or booked the construction. So he's stuck with the bill for it.
Damn.
Yeah, I got to get her out of there.
I hear you. And on that note, this is a good place to dip out. You guys say goodbye, and I'm going to chill out on my shit. So say goodbye, y'all.
We'll see you
y'all.
There you go. Excellent. And chat, I just wanted to let you guys know that this time next week, I will be talking to the one and only Deadly Kitty. That's right, Miss Blossom of Twitch and of YouTube morning show notoriety around here. So this should be fun. We've been communicating, and she seems to be a pretty cool person. So we should have a good time. And on that note, after that it's Fat Pat, and then also coming up, Petite Coco and her husband Shane. So this is going to be another couple thing I'll be doing. So yeah,
You always interview the best people.
I'm trying. And I've got a couple more that I don't know. We're trying to make them happen.
Scribe Light. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Scribe Light.
Just saying. Anyway, on that note, y'all.
Subscribe, like.
Yes. We'll see y'all, and y'all have a great week. And of course, Hot Takes, we'll be doing the family on Thursday, and Friday night's Cream Stream. More cringe. Come on up. See y'all later. Bye, y'all.